California has the nation's strictest gun laws, but that wasn't enough to stop this latest mass shooting. Tonight, NBC Bay Area investigator Bigad Shaban takes a closer look at the laws we have and whether they're really working.
Through the loss and pain and anger, there is what has become an all too common question during these kinds of tragedies.
Could the mass shooting in San Jose have been prevented?
I think it could have.
Robin Thomas is executive director of the Giffords Law Center, a national advocacy group aimed at curbing gun violence.
What we have is the easiest access to incredibly lethal firearms of any country in the world.
What do you say to those who point to the fact that while California has already some of the toughest gun laws in the country, the state is still susceptible to gun violence?
We have one of the lowest rates of gun violence in the country because of comprehensive regulation. No matter how good California's laws are, if we don't have federal regulation, it's just too easy to get around them. And the truth is, guns are being trafficked from states with weak laws into states with strong laws.
But more laws restricting gun access won't make us any safer, argues California Assemblyman James Gallagher. Instead, he wants to increase the number of mental health providers and better equip schools to identify troubled individuals at younger ages.
The issue is not the inanimate object that they use to kill people. It's the person themselves.
There are going to be people who hear that who are left scratching their heads because they would argue what all of these mass shootings have in common are people used guns to kill people.
People can use trucks to kill people. They can use bombs to kill people. I mean, what's the answer? Do you want to ban all guns and no one can ever own a gun?
Those on both sides of the gun debate do agree on at least one thing. California needs to do a better job of adhering to the laws it already has on the books. The state is one of 20 in the nation that allow what are called gun restraining orders, where the government can take away someone's firearm if they're thought to be a threat to themselves or others. In California, more than 1,200 guns were taken away from people last year. But today, there are still more than 23,000 people in the state who still have their guns, even though they've been banned from owning them.
Lives are at stake.
Dr. Garen Wintemute heads the Violence Prevention Research Program at UC Davis, which has been studying the effectiveness of California's gun restraining order program. The findings are due out later this year. But Wintemute says it's clear part of the program's problems include a relatively small staff responsible for collecting guns from people all across the state.
The transaction at the door is, hi, we're sorry, we understand that you own firearms and you're not allowed to under the law. We need for you to give us your firearms. That's not a one law enforcement officer, one person kind of transaction.
The gunman behind the San Jose attack was not under a gun restraining order, but advocates believe if more people had known about the program, there's a chance someone in the shooter's life could have taken steps to have his guns taken away. With the investigative unit, I'm Bigad Shaban.